Hello and welcome to 40 Days to Destiny. I'm Regina Livingston. I am so glad that you're here today and I hope you are too. Yesterday was just an amazing day. So many good things. I did get to look and see about my prospects for some money coming in, so that is great. But the thing I was so excited about was my walk yesterday. I go and I walk down by we call them the lagoons, but they're man-made little ponds that we have down there, and I found some of the greatest things. And I have an object lesson from that later on. But one of the neatest things I saw yesterday was I saw a whole bunch of pelicans, and we are like 1,000 to 2,000 miles away from the ocean. Not close, but they are migrating this time of year. So there was just a whole flock of these pelicans in our water, and they were doing little formations, and then they would come in and they would like do something, and then they would go out. And I did not have my camera, so I was so disappointed. I did not get to see it, but I sat there for the longest time watching them and just awe of the nature that God has made for us, and it's so great, it's so beautiful, it's amazing to watch this formation and how they worked together. And that is so right with us. There was one guy who was kind of in a front and the leader. I don't know if he always is or whatever, but there seemed to be one person in the front. Usually they take turns on those kind of things, especially in the sky. But it was so neat how they all work together to do things. And we are not solo people here. That is so great that we have other people we can rely on. Now, the other thing that I found was so fascinating. I was walking and I got this inclination to go walk down by the beachy kind of part. There's a sand and stuff right by the water. And I usually just walk through the path. There's nice concrete paths, but something compelled me to go down there today. And it took me a long time. Have you ever been, pushed to do something, but you just think about it and think about it, like, do I really want to do that or not? Well, and I found this fascinating thing. Look at that. This thing is huge and it's all together. I mean, it is bigger than my hand. My hand does not cover that thing. It is way bigger than my hand. And I just cleaned it up to show it to you. Inside is full of stuff. I don't know what, but I did crack it open just to make sure there wasn't something living in there. But I didn't think where I found it that it could be, because it wouldn't live long that far off out of the water. So we did have some storms last week. I'm assuming that's when it came up onto shore and, stopped breathing or whatever it does. I'm not sure how those things, and I'm not even sure if it is an oyster, or if it's a clam or mussel. They all kind of look kind of identical. I'm sure there's certain ways to tell. But that's not my expertise, so I'm not going to tell you what it is. So I showed some preschoolers today, and they thought that was really cool and amazing. So yeah, but the thing is with these creatures, these oysters or whatever, they have something inside, and maybe I'll find one of those things inside. I'm kind of excited to clean it out and see, but I wanted to show it to you before it fell apart. I was afraid if I cleaned it too much that it would fall apart and it wouldn't be one whole piece like I'm showing you now. So there could be a pearl inside. Now, wouldn't that be neat to find? Now, there's a story about, a pearl of great price. They had this one guy found this pearl. He wanted it so bad. He sold everything he had for this one pearl. Now, what is the pearl in your life? I mean, is that pearl your family? Are you that close to your family that you'll do anything for them, and, job, career, everything can fall apart as long as your family is happy? Is that your pearl? Now, that's one of my pearls. I have a few, but that's one of the top ones for sure, if it isn't the top, is family. And career, something you dream of. What in your life do you think you are called to do? Huh? What would you sell almost your life for? And of course, I think your family is one of them, but there's something deep inside you, and maybe you have forgotten about it, and it's from when you were way back as a kid. You've always wanted to do. For me, the longest time I've always wanted to go to London. And I have no expectation. I keep having all these people say, oh, it's not that great. It's not what you expect. And I'm like, I have no expectations. I have one vision of London, and that's the only thing I'm expecting. Other than that, the city itself, if I went to New York and a lot of people are like, oh, that's nothing. Well, I loved it, and it's all in your mind, I think, what you like and what you don't like. So the pearl of great price, what is that for you? Okay, and there's also another thing about pearls is how they are made. They're made from little irritations. Sand gets in there, and it's an irritant to this mussel or oyster or clam, whatever's in there. And they cannot survive very well with that. So they put this lubricant, whatever, over top of it, and it hardens, and then they do that again, and then they do that again until, sometimes you can have this really big pearl in there. So, in our lives, what is your irritation? Can you make a pearl out of that? Okay? How can you make that bad thing, that thing that's irritating you the most, into something good and positive? And I think that's a lot of times what we are to do. Some people like try and run and hide and stuff, and sometimes that is what you need to do. That is. But what can you learn from that? What can you mold and cover and make into something beautiful? Okay, you get all these little seeds, you plant them in the ground, they don't look like much, but they can produce some of the most beautiful flowers, roses like I showed you yesterday, all those different beautiful things come from this little bitty nothing, not much, right? And the same way with the pearl, it starts out as sand. Sand isn't pretty. I mean, it looks nice with the ocean, goes together hand in hand, but it's not exciting with that, but it makes a beautiful pearl when it's put into the oyster shell. So, what is your pearl? What is irritating you that you can change and say, hey, I need to do something about this. Let's make something good out of it. Come out on a positive note. So I'm so excited. I hope you find out what you need to change if that's the case, what your pearl of great price is that your goals are going to. Because if you don't have something to go for, your life can be kind of dull. Going to traveling could be one, just being happy is one of the best pearls you could ever ask for. So, if I could ask you to do anything, I want you to be happy. Happy, happy. Smile, laugh all the time. So, if you like this video, like and share, and have a great day.